It's extremely difficult. I feel like I let my teammates down tonight.
He said he feels like he let you guys down. How do you react when your quarterback who's done so much for you says that to you guys?
He let us down.
But I'm saying it because I'm standing up for Buffalo, damn it. I'm standing up for us. Because what went on is not how it should go down.
This is the Buffalo Plus Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus Podcast. Mike Catalana, Dan Fates, I am Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. The Bills season ending tonight here in Denver, 33-30 in overtime. We're going to get to the mistakes made by the Bills, the 5 turnovers, all that stuff, the calls at the end of the game. Mike, this team, you heard from the players, they are gutted after yet another team for the Bills comes up short.
You guys at home, you guys have experienced this before with the Bills. They've lost in gut-wrenching ways. They've lost in overtime. They've lost on the road in these type of games. They've done all that. What made this different was they lost with Josh Allen making the biggest mistakes in this game. The guy they count on, he still made plays, but he made mistakes that cost his team. I'm not saying if they would have won the game, it would have been in spite of Josh Allen because he still made plays.
Correct. Yeah.
But in these losses that they've had, go back to 13 seconds and every other one, Josh is still Josh. This was so many mistakes and even some throws that you know he would want back. And that, I think, is what is so disappointing for this game.
Yeah, so weird to still process.
Yeah.
We're filming this at 8:50 Mountain Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll get this up as soon as possible. But it just is a weird feeling when if they would have, rolled over down 13 and never made a push,
Yes.
it would feel different. And then to come all the way back, for the defense to play so great in the second half, then to give up a touchdown drive with a minute to go. Mm-hmm. When they had made stops the last few games, and they made plenty of stops. I think the defense was a big part of why the Bills were still in this game. It is so perplexing to sit here at the end and go, man, the Bills and Josh Allen shot themselves in the foot just one too many times today.
That was the thing, though. It's heartbreaking to watch because this team, we talked about after the Jags win, hey, the injuries that this team has, it's coming off a short week of rest. But for the Bills to have to play so well and then play so poorly, but then get themselves back into this game and to have it at the end with some of those calls, too. And we can get into all of that and what Sean McDermott had to say. But I feel like we're still processing. I agree. But that is the most emotional I've ever seen Josh Allen, and that's hard to watch.
Here he is coming to the podium after the game.
It's extremely difficult. I feel like I let my teammates down tonight. Just missed opportunities throughout the game. It's been a long season. I hate how it ended, and it's going to stick with me for a long time.
Yeah, I feel for the guy. He says he let his team down. And yeah, to some extent on this game, he did. But there's so much emotion in him because he said this season was hard, and it was. So much was put on the guy. This is not making an excuse for him. It's the biggest moments in the biggest games. It's just we're so used to him coming through.
And he did come through.
He did.
That's what's also hard to, compartmentalize from this. That throw to Dawson Knox.
Fantastic.
Or Don Kincaid.
Don Kincaid for the touchdown.
Insane.
And
he still ran. And, thank goodness the Bills didn't, and the league didn't banish the tush push because they were so great at it once again. And he was using his legs and all of these things. But that was hard to watch, Mike.
Yeah, and when they were down 13, after they had given up the sack and the field goal, Jenna looks at me and says, I'm still confident in this team.
Because I was.
And you were. And then before you know it, they go down. They get the score. Shout out Keon. He made a play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They got him a chance. He made a play. And then they get the ball back. He throws the pick after they ran the screen, those things. But they kept fighting back. And to your point, making plays. So he's always going to make plays. It's just the negative ones that ended up hurting them so badly. But the last one was, it goes as an interception, but that was a crazy play.
Here were Josh's teammates after the game when they were talking about Josh taking ownership and saying he let his teammates down.
He said he feels like he let you guys down. How do you react when your quarterback who's done so much for you says that to you guys?
He let us down.
I think we all feel that way, you work so hard. Personally, just so thankful to be a part of this. And I look back and like, man, what can I have done to be able to alleviate some of that pressure from him? You just love this game so much, and when you come up short like this, it's gonna sting for a long time,
The raw emotion of that. And I think sometimes it's hard for us because, you're sticking a microphone in the face of someone after they just had a season-ending loss. And that's tough, and we have to be respectful. But also the emotion of knowing for this team, because they did go through so much this season. They battled so much adversity. Sean McDermott talked about what a tough team this was, how much he loves this team, and the fact that now it is starting once again, looking at it of, all right, it's going to take another year.
I've been in a lot of these locker rooms.
Yeah.
After Super Bowl losses, tough losses, you guys too. These. I'm looking at Dion, and I give Dion this. He always talks to us after a game. Win or lose, he always does. And when I'm saying that to him, you could see it in his eyes about Josh. I felt for him as just a person. And I think all the reporters did. Look, we can ask, tough questions. You could say all that. In that moment, he starts to break down, and everybody just thanked him. I mean, what more are you going to do? And you see it in his face. And that's not, Dion is an emotional guy, but not like that. Usually he's pumping everybody back up.
That's what's most jarring was like, we've been in these locker rooms. We've never seen Josh like that.
Never.
We've never seen Dion like that. Obviously, we haven't been around Brandon Cooks, but for a grown man to have a tear just falling out of his face, it was, you said it, because I was on the side of the podium and could see Josh. And Josh started to walk out, and then he stopped. And he was still behind in the hallway that was behind the podium. And I texted you guys, I said, Josh is crying. Like, you could hear him crying. And he took 2 minutes before he eventually walked out. That was Josh collecting himself.
Yeah.
Like, talk about what it was like in the locker room and all of those emotions. But you and I said it, Jenna, I think you said it too, like, it was tough to watch because you know how much this guy cares. You know how much he has sacrificed his body and put all of this stuff on the line, and to come up short again sucks.
I literally tweeted out, like, the people that make fun of Josh Allen. And look, tonight he had mistakes, and there were costly ones at that. But the people that make fun of him don't understand what he means to this team, what he means to this franchise, and what he means to the fans. And that's fine. They don't have to understand. But I think today, seeing the emotion from the entire group just further proves what type of a leader he is, and then also just the disappointment. And this team has had to deal with a lot of disappointment.
Yeah, and look, every team that loses, especially in this circumstance where the season ends abruptly, right? That's the way it goes, feels emotion. But this team keeps fighting back and going again and fighting back and going again. And this was an up and down season all the way through. And then the joy that they had walking off the field in Jacksonville. Yep. And then in this game, falling behind, like you said, and then them fighting back. And then thinking they have made a play to Brandon Cooks that could have been, let's face it, if they get that catch, if it's called a catch, it's set up for the game-winning field goal.
Absolutely.
And they win the game.
So let's talk about that. Let's get into that. I saw somebody on Twitter, social media saying, like, the most controversial catch of all time. Like, it's up there with Dez. Like, it's up there with, and again, I know you're probably sitting here saying the same exact thing. I don't know what a catch is. I just don't, okay? I don't understand not only the ruling on the field, but then the chaos and the lack of explanation afterwards. That, to me, was the most frustrating part, where it just felt like the whole overtime, it was like they were running out. They didn't have any commercial breaks. So it was like, hey, guys, we got to keep going.
Of all times.
It truly felt like that, though. The pace of which they were making massive decisions.
I mean to interrupt you. I'm thinking.
He didn't. He actually held off.
I did.
No, it's fine.
Well, here's what I was going to say is, last week in Jacksonville, They took 8 minutes to decide the stupid snap before the field goal. Like, they did not mind waiting, standing on the field, to make the call. And here it felt like we got to hurry up.
That's Sean literally said, I called the timeout just to slow things down. And here is what Sean McDermott had to say after the game. The full context of what he was talking about, his issues with the decision making by the referees, and his take on what he saw.
Yeah, so obviously I don't have the power to challenge, right? We're in overtime, so the flag is not an option to throw it down. So I called a timeout to try and get the process to slow down, because it seemed like the process was not slowing down. It was a rather rapid unfolding of the review, if there was a review, and so I called a timeout to try and slow it down. It would seem logical to me. It would seem logical to me that and make a lot of sense that the head official would walk over and want to go and take a look at it just to make sure that everybody from here who is in the stadium to there are on the same page. That's too big of a play, in my estimation, too big of a play, in a play that decided the game potentially as well, to not even slow it down. And that's why I had to call the timeout. It's not what I wanted to do, but I had to do it in order to make sure that I understood what was going on and that they did take a look at it. And it's hard for me to, and I've had a chance to look at it, it's hard for me to understand why it was ruled the way it was ruled. And if it is ruled that way, then why wasn't it slowed down? Just to make sure that we have this right. That would have made a lot of sense to me, to make sure that we have this thing right, because that's a pivotal play in the game. We have the ball at the 20, maybe kicking a game-winning field goal right there. So I'll just leave it at that. But I'm saying it because I'm standing up for Buffalo, damn it. I'm standing up for us. Because what went on is not how it should go down, in my estimation. That play, these guys spent 3 hours out there playing football, pouring their guts out, to not even say, hey, let's just slow this thing down. That's why I'm bothered.
In your eyes, was it catch down by contact?
In my eyes, it was. Yes, in my eyes, it was. But even if it wasn't, okay, let's just say that, and I'm being objective. Even if it wasn't, the players are owed, to me, hey, let's stop it, let's slow it down, let's put the head referee and give him a chance to look at the monitor just to make sure.
I love Sean saying I'm standing up for Buffalo, though, because to me, whether it was an interception or a catch, it did feel like the whole entire process of that was rushed.
It's exactly right what you're saying, because he even said, hey, they could call it what they're going to call it, but it felt like it was like, hurry up, guys, and then it's done. And then, now the result of it ended up, with the interception, basically ends up being a punt, and then they let him drive down the field. So they still had a chance. But if that is called a catch, and in my mind, I'm watching him, I'm seeing the ball in his hands, he hits the ground being touched, I figure the play ends. It wouldn't be a fumble. But the Carl Jeffers, the official, when he was interviewed by the pool reporter, said the completion of the catch was not made by the receiver. The ball came out as before he completed it, and the defender completed the play by the ball going in his hands. In my mind, he catches it, hits the ground, being touched, the ball comes out, but it's already down. That's not what they called.
I'll never understand. I just won't understand what a catch is, because that play could happen on Sunday in a Patriots game and be called completely differently because it's some subjective rule of what a catch is.
Yeah.
And again, if you want to call that on the field is one thing, but the fact that you have to have a head coach run down the field and use a timeout because he's going, what is happening? We review spots.
Yes.
We review, the digital reviews. We review all of these things. And in overtime of a divisional playoff game, to just be like, yeah, guys, let's go. Come on.
Yeah, agreed. Egregious. And that's what I said. And Sean McDermott said it in the soundbite, but he cannot do a challenge because it's overtime. Coaches, there are no challenges during overtime because everything is reviewed. But you're right. It just felt so quick to make that decision, and then there were already the Broncos offense out on the field.
Yeah, that was what was stunning. Like they're just going, and then they finally held them up.
But it was
for a second.
It was so simple. We have seen that 100 times a season, that there's a turnover and they just wait. They wait after touchdowns for the extra point. They stand out there. This was like, come on, guys, let's play. Come on, we're gonna keep playing.
For Buffalo fans, and I was there for this one, it reminds me of no goal with the Stars, because that whole season they had called that, and the next thing you know, when that happened to win the Stanley Cup, they just said, oh, it's over, bring out the cup, and it's done. And you never got a chance to have it adjudicated the way it should have been. Maybe they would have kept the same call, but it would have felt a little more thorough if they would have not just rushed through the whole thing.
And then later on in that drive, obviously the penalties on Trey White, the roughing the passer call,
Taron Johnson.
Yeah, I kept looking up at the scoreboard throughout the game and kept going, oh, there's only been 5 penalties called all game. And it was a great game. It was a great game. And then to sit there at the end, and here's what Trey White has to say, because I think he says it better than I do. When he was asked about his pass interference call that set up the game-winning field goal for the Broncos, he was asked about that call. Here's his answer.
The interference at the end, was that a pure ticky-tack foul that they called?
I mean, I believe so. I thought that, I didn't interfere with the guy. When the ball got there, I swiped through, knocked the ball down, and fell on top of him. And, I just think that the crowd probably played a big-time factor in that. And also, referees are human, man, and, people make mistakes. And I just think that it should be up to the players to decide the game, man. With a game that's fought so hard, come down to the wire, plays like that. I mean, that's a professional bang play. As a defensive back, man, that's what you want. Take the guy to the ground and finish the play. And referees, they just don't know ball, man. I just think that, whenever a guy don't look back for the ball, especially on the defensive side of the ball, which you don't have to when you're out of phase, which I was out of phase and I caught back up with the guy and played through his hands. Once the ball got there, I didn't touch him before the ball got there. I feel like I finished through the pocket like I'm coached to do. And that's what it was, and I just think that they just had bad judgment on that play.
Let the players decide the game.
And you're right. And there were calls like the one to Cooks that could have been interference. They let him play. And then going the other way, like you slow those down. And I have seen Denver fans showing clips in the slow-mo, and Trey hits him a step early, and maybe there's a little hand con. Yes, it's the same thing on the other side. I like when they let them play. And here in the biggest moment, they decided to do it twice.
But that's my issue, is earlier on when Brandon Cooks is the one getting contact, it's like, oh, no flag. But then later when the game's on the line, they're like, you know what, now?
I don't think any of them should have been penalties.
I
I'm
agree
with you. I'm agreeing
with
you.
My issue is just when they decide to throw the play, it's like, why are you now throwing this in the biggest moment when all of the precedent that you sent earlier in the game is that it's not a flag?
If a ball is a ball, or a strike is a strike in the first inning of a baseball game, you don't care. But that strike zone should not change in the 10th inning. That is what I felt like happened. Because you know what? I thought they let them play. I thought they missed a ton of holding calls. I thought guys were getting grabbed left and right. Awesome. It was a fun game. The players were deciding it. I thought Deion Walker got held on a play. I thought Spencer Brown grabbed one of the guys on the back of their neck.
There was Osiris Torrance grabbed a guy on a running play. Fine. They let it go.
And guess what? It went the other way too.
Yeah.
Like, I kept thinking Rousseau's getting grabbed and he's walking back to the huddle going like this. Awesome. Let him play. Again, I know the Bills had 5 turnovers. They shot themselves in the foot. You don't deserve to win a playoff game when you 5 turnovers. But we're sitting here not talking as much about the 5 turnovers and talking about plays that happened right here by guys that, as Trey White says, they just don't know ball.
Let's talk about the turnovers and the issues. I think the most egregious one was giving up the 3 points before half. Sean's been criticized for not taking chances late in halves. I normally would say, go ahead. You want to take a chance? You have Josh Allen as your quarterback. You have to trust your quarterback to be smarter than that.
100%.
Yeah. And I don't blame Sean.
No, he goes for it. He says, if we get some yardage, get out of bounds. And when Josh is running there, just slide and go to halftime.
100%. That, if you're upset about Sean McDermott running a play, that is hindsight.
Especially when the ball's in Josh Allen's hands.
Josh Allen needs to make a better decision there.
He takes a kneel there. You're going, come on, why didn't it let Josh rip 130 yards down the field? Cooks had been winning. But you never, ever thought Josh would turn into Houston playoff Josh.
Yeah.
and carrying the ball like LaShawn McCoy out in the middle of the field.
And it goes backwards 10 yards, and it lets him kick the field goal.
That was
brutal.
Josh. I mean, again,
Yeah.
that's not Sean. That was Josh.
Yeah, I agree.
The other interception was after they did the screen to Shakir.
I
They went
know.
backwards. That play had worked a few times. And then he takes the shot. He was late on the throw. Safety made a good play. He was late on the throw. You could see it. It wasn't just those. He also, he missed Dawson Knox at the end of the game. I think Knox could have scored. If he doesn't score, he's still close enough. I think he would have scored.
Knox was
Not a
happy.
great
Knox was not happy.
He was open.
He was open, and he doesn't usually show
emotion like
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
That was, I can't believe it.
Low to Shakir on the other throw. It bounced, and Shakir making the play.
Yeah.
So he just was. He was not sharp. He still made plays, but he was not sharp.
And he was, Cole Beasley tweeted, he's in the zone now. Watch out.
Yeah.
And he was. And there were times where I thought early in the first half, he was
Throw to
8 for 10.
Or Dalton Kincaid.
And I'm sitting there, I'm going,
Yeah.
Josh is slotted, as he calls it. Like, he's like,
In
the
the
ball
zone.
is just coming out of his hands
the Shakir
so
one was
well.
so good.
Like, all of these things. Like, he made a couple of throws. He double clutched on the one to Ray Davis,
Yeah.
where I was like, I don't like double clutching on bubble screens. And he threw it by the guy's ear hole, where I was like, dude, he's just feeling it right now. And a lot of that, I think, was to make up for some of the earlier mistakes. But, yeah, it is what it was.
You do get worried about the pressing when you have that many mistakes. But it is tough in this game because Josh Allen, obviously, with 4 turnovers, and then James Cook with 1 as well. And those are your best players on offense that are making those really terrible mistakes.
Cook started out, was running really well. They
Yeah.
were getting a lot out of James Cook. And then that fumble really turned things. That was a big hit. Ball came out. When they are your best players and they turn the ball over each of the times, it really is crushing. I will say this, and by the way, they used the hook and ladder play and it worked again.
Yes.
They should run it every drive.
But
Sorry, I got scared.
I got to say, I think Joe Brady we just talked about the screen. I think he called a pretty good game. Look what they're piecing together, who's out there.
Yeah.
They made plays. They got guys down the field. Like the play to Kincaid was great for the touchdown. Kincaid woke up in that second half.
Yes.
Made a lot of plays for them.
Well,
like
in
I
the
said,
first half, you're like, where is he?
Yeah.
Keon making a play. They did get individual plays out of guys, but
Yes. Credit to Keon. Great individual effort. Horrendous drop. And I want that. That was a horrendous. I understand it was a holding.
Yeah.
Nobody was happier about a holding call on his own team than Keon Coleman because that was a brutal drop.
yeah, he should have caught it in the end zone. It ended up being they didn't go 10 yards farther back and they made the field goal, but you got to catch the ball.
I want to talk a little bit about the defense. And Jen, I want to get your opinion first because you always set us up. So when the last pod of the season here, what was your thoughts on the defense? Because every postseason loss is always the narrative of this or that and Sean McDermott. What was your thoughts on how the defense performed?
The defense kept them in this game. After Josh had the fumble, and for the Bills defense to have them settle for a field goal, I was like, that's massive. That keeps you in this game.
I thought that changed the game.
I agree, because I was like, okay.
I was like, score, stop, score. Josh gets hit on the second play and fumbles, and you're like, well, this is it.
Yeah.
And they hold them.
They could have buried them there. The Broncos could have buried the Bills there, but the Bills defense stood up, made them settle for the field goal like I talked about, and I think that energized this team. And I understand if you want to say, hey, but also it's like the Bills were down. It was tied right before half, 22 seconds left on the clock. And then the bullshit that happened, I'm like, you're putting your defense in a tough spot.
The bullshit that happened was, one, Cam Lewis goes out for cramping, and they immediately
Picked on Savage.
Darnell Savage.
Yeah.
Like, that sucked.
And then in the last drive, Trey went out of the game,
They went right at Dane Jackson.
and they went right at Dane Jackson
He
for
threw
the touchdown.
one ball. Bo Nix threw one ball,
I was just
and
like-
it was that one to Mims.
I saw a tweet that like Bo Nix is carving them up, and I'm like, are we watching the same game?
That last drive was good.
I'm saying
I'm
giving him that.
it was before that
Before
last
that
drive
drive.
though. I'm
But the
talking
last
about
drive-
I was like, Bo Nix, no.
And I give Sean Payton credit because they recognized those things right away, and they went at those guys. On the next play.
On the next play.
And got
Yeah.
them twice.
I mean, that is what you are supposed to do, and that's what good teams take advantage of, and I understand that. I just felt like the Bills' defense kept them in this game. Thought they got a lot of tipped passes as well. A.J. Epinesa getting in on the mix.
Deion
Walker with the interception. Like,
Bo Nix wasn't good.
no.
He made that
He
throw
made
to Mims was right in my lap. Phenomenal throw.
Yeah.
He ran
good
the ball
catch, too.
effectively, got them first downs on that drive. That's why he had the 2 drives. He had the drive to take the lead, and then he had the drive after the Cooks catch / interception to take him down and kick the field goal, aided by 3 huge penalties.
And he broke his ankle, and he's out for the season.
Which also just pisses me off.
That's confirmed, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sean
Payton said he broke a
Payton
bone in
said
his ankle.
we're going to get out and ahead of this. He fractured his ankle. He's out. He has surgery on Tuesday.
And the second to last play or the kneel down, they're not. People are
the
speculating.
I thought it was the second to last play, but either way.
The tackle by Bishop, whether it was a Trey White one, anything like that.
Wow.
I
thought
am now rooting for Houston because I can't stomach the idea of the Patriots being in the AFC Championship, and also. Can I say that I want the AFC to get smoked in the Super Bowl? Is that okay?
Yeah, it's funny because
is this a safe space?
If Denver wins, it's who's the quarterback?
Jared Stidham.
Jared
Stidham. Oh my God, Jared Stidham could be. Well, it'd be the Patriots or the Texans. So, yeah.
Serious question now. This team, we talked about how they're just offensively. Really, wide receiver wise, there was not enough talent on this roster. What?
Oh, sorry. I just want to have one more
on
comment on the defense. When it went to overtime, there were 13 points off of turnovers. They had allowed 17 points on legitimate drives. And I want that to be crystal clear of what that was. Josh gave them, they got 6 points off fumbles in short field.
Yep.
Okay? And the Cook fumble, they drove down the field. That needs, and they're, again, you lose the first kickoff, the opening kickoff.
Dorian
Williams. Car crash with Dorian Williams.
Yeah.
Scary stuff. And you're Balin Spector's out there, guys.
Yeah.
I know.
To your point, because of the Jordan Poyer injury and then Cam getting hurt in the game, you end up with Savage, who was on the practice squad before, and then you end up with Dane Jackson, who has not played.
Because Max is out.
And, I mean, other teams have injuries too, but it just highlighted in these moments. When you talk about what they gave up, the defense really balled out for that second half. Like you said, they got the stops, the 3 and outs, to get the ball right back. They got the stop to start overtime, which was huge.
They did.
I guess I just look at this, and the PC version is they showed some cojones.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Some stones.
They put him on the table, and I just think that what they were able to do was impressive, because when the offense was turning the ball over and shooting themselves in the foot, the defense held it together. I understand the Savage interception or the Savage touchdown on him sucked, all of that right before the half, but I just thought the defense kept them in this game from getting it to be a blowout early in the second half to allow Josh to put it together and figure it out at times. I thought the defense was great.
Yeah, they steadied the ship. They really did. And they kept the Bills in this game.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's I know there's a lot of narratives about Sean McDermott and how he's not a good coach and whatever, but the fight that this team had and the fact that they were even in this game with 5 turnovers, I think says a lot about, A, the way the defense could bounce back, but also the fact that they had no quit in them.
Not at all. No, they did. Again, it's a fight. You can't turn it over that many times and win, yet they still almost did it with a break. After mistake after mistake after mistake. You also had Larry Ogunjobi going offsides on a play where the Bills forced a fumble.
Brutal.
And ended up only being a field goal, but it was still 3 points that they shouldn't have given up as he jumped offside. So they made enough mistakes. Joey Bosa,
just
not
always
good.
Inside.
Always on the inside, and allow Bo Nix, and then he takes
He's a
15
liability.
Rushed right.
Yes.
Every
he
time.
only escaped right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's talk big picture.
They need to overhaul the offense. Mike, you like Brandon Cooks, the possibility of coming back?
The only reason I said that is they need to make massive changes to the wide receiver position. And I'm not sure who's going to be back. I think a guy like Brandon Cooks gave them something that they did not have. Now, you want to go out and get a guy who's 8 years younger or a draft pick? Fine, you want to spend the resources. I'm saying is you see a guy with speed who knows how to play in the NFL can still make plays for this offense at what, 30, what is he, 32 33 years old, 34, whatever
30,
he is.
I don't know.
I'm just saying is that shows you. It's on Brandon Bean.
I was going to say,
it's on Brandon Bean to make them better. I'm just saying is Brandon Cooks showed a lot, I thought, in the last few games to show you what's possible out there if you give Josh Allen the kind of weapon who can actually run past people on the field.
That is my frustration level as well, though. Why is a guy you brought onto your team in Week 13 having to make such big plays and big moments?
Yeah. Because they didn't have anybody else that was going to do it.
I know.
Yeah.
McCole Hardman, all that. It's just the frustrations of, like, this team. Josh did not play his best game today. We all know that. But he has carried this team for most of the season.
Carried the whole franchise. He
Absolutely.
carried everything.
And just, we always said this last year, like, Josh can do more with less. We learned that last year, but why would you want to double down on that? It's just infuriating. It really is, especially when you look at the AFC picture and how wide open and how much parity there was this year. And obviously hindsight is 20/20, but it's like this was such a great opportunity for this franchise, and it slips through their fingers yet again.
I'm just saying you get a glimmer of what that can do for this offense.
Yeah.
A legitimate NFL receiver who can run.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Stretch
so
the field.
Go out, because it's
Stress
kind of
the
wild.
defense.
You guys are on the field. It's kind of wild when you see a Bills player behind the defense
Absolutely.
on those plays. So go use the draft pick. Go get a free, whatever it is to take to
But
get
not
this
A.J.
guy
Brown.
help.
Sorry, I just want that on the record.
Yeah, I don't think he'd
I
be
don't
a
want
good
A.J.
fit
Brown
at all
Yeah.
for the Bills. But we got a lot of time to
Yes.
talk about that. But they need that kind of help for this guy.
Where are they at now?
Oh, this one's going to hurt. They're going to need to just close ranks here. Josh is going to get ripped. Sean, like you said, I'm talking about nationally. Like, if you pay any attention to that stuff, that's all you're going to hear. It's going to be sickening for Bills fans to watch whatever is left of the playoffs after seeing this game and seeing whoever ends up winning the Super Bowl. It's going to be another year where they didn't get where they wanted to go. They got, a lot of changes I think they can make in the offseason, but I still think
Honestly, that is one thing if you're looking at the glass half full. Like, they got this far with subpar talent. I mean, James Cook, phenomenal, but in terms of the wide receivers, I think that becomes a glaring issue. And we've talked about all season, a lot of the things that are your Achilles heel during the year show up in the playoffs. And for this team, like, you get some legitimate weapons around Josh, like, this team can do good things.
Yeah. Well, they spent a lot of draft capital on the defense and got very little out of it. Deion Walker looks like he's a player.
Yes.
He'll get more and more going in next year. Hey, I want to shout out to Ed Oliver, too. Played a lot of snaps. That's tough.
Played way more than I
to
was
be
expecting than the
out
knee.
and then getting himself back onto the field. I know he wanted to help. That cannot be easy to be doing that, but they did miss him a ton during the whole year.
Sucks.
Yeah.
It does.
There were so many times when I said this team was dead, and they always found a way, and Josh and the defense, like, found a way. And then to have it be like that sucks.
And those ticky-tacky calls down the stretch added insult to injury.
Well, if you're just a regular fan watching this for entertainment, I think you're annoyed at that because you've
I
seen
agree.
this great game and you're like, really? Now
Yeah.
you're going to call this?
all-time game and you're going to end it like that?
Yeah. But my takeaway of this game is just watching, like you said, watching Josh walk in that room afterward.
That's hard.
That's
it's
hard
to watch. It
for
really
a guy
is.
who's put so much into this.
With 4 minutes to go, I was going, how lucky are we?
We're
to
still-
live in,
we're
to
still
live in
lucky.
a time
Yeah.
where we get to watch Josh Allen play football.
Yeah.
Human beings have been around for thousands of years, and I thought we're lucky to get to watch Josh Allen play quarterback, and I did not expect in that span to where we are now to be like, we're asking the pool reporter to get questions to the referee and tears. I
was thinking about
sucks.
Josh today and how down he is with all he's accomplished. He needs a break. The guy needs a break. And fortunately for him, a big moment in his life is coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything goes really well. He's going to be a father.
Yeah.
I think he's going to, but that man is drained, physically beaten up, emotionally, mentally drained.
I think that was it.
This
I think
season
you saw
took
that.
so much out of him.
Absolutely.
He was holding it together.
And it's
It's like when you're in a relationship and it's like you got to be strong for the other person sometimes. Shout out my wife. And it's like my wife. I just feel like then it's like
When you hit your breaking point.
Yeah, the dam breaks.
Yeah.
You know, and that was
There was too much on Josh this season.
By the way,
bingo.
he's got foot, ankle,
Finger.
got hit in the head. What else does he have? Whatever else he has.
know.
He is beaten up. I don't know if any of it requires anything other than rest. The man needs rest. Become a dad, play some golf, take a break. He needs a break.
I'm sad.
Yep.
Appreciate everybody that's followed along.
Yeah, we
this has
love
been
you guys
surreal.
so much. We really do.
Obviously, you guys all know we got plenty of content coming.
Yes.
This just goes into
Now's
the
not the time,
non-football
Michael.
season.
No,
I want everybody to know that we are going to be talking about this team. We're going to be talking about what they can do in the offseason. We're going to be going to Elmo's and have steak and talk to them about the draft.
Combine, NFL
all
draft.
that stuff that we do. But for right now, I think everybody just needs a break.
I don't want to break.
I could use a break, but I'm sad.
Yeah, I'm sad. I really thought this team, I was like, this effing team, man. I was getting ready for the intro. I was going to say, what a game. I was ready.
Dan would have allowed it for this
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
He would have allowed
I needed
it.
a cigarette. I
Yeah.
still need a cigarette. It's just a sad cigarette.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a sad cigarette. Dan doesn't smoke, but that
By the
would
way,
be,
yeah, I think I need to make that clear.
Yeah.
I do not smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
But he might tonight.
Sad cigarette. All right. For Mike and Dan, I am Jenna. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Like Mike said, we'll have plenty more coverage coming up on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel, as well as Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane's end of the season press conference. We'll have our takeaways from that as well. But for now, thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time here on the Buffalo Plus channel.
This is the Buffalo Plus Podcast.